It's the Ugly American Werewolf in London Rock Podcast with your hosts, the Wolf and Action Jackson, who are keeping rock alive by talking classic rock, hard rock, progressive rock, heavy metal, 80s music, early MTV, UK vs. US chart success, and much more. This is the home of classic album and live concert reviews and your place for interviews with artists and legends. You're rocking with the Wolf. Out there, rock and rollers. Welcome to episode number 260 of the Ugly American Werewolf in London Rock Podcast. Brought to you by me, your host, Mac B. the Wolf, and I will be joined, as I always am, by my partner in crime from the East Coast of the US&A, Mr. Gary Action Jackson. And we love our listeners. We appreciate you tuning in and sharing your lives with us, sharing your love of all things rock and roll. And some of our episodes lately have been a lot of fun, as we just recently reviewed Motorhead's Ace of Spades as it's turning 45, and just had a great conversation with Stu Allen, a San Francisco Bay guitar player who's played a lot with Mars Hotel, Phil Lesh and Friends, Dark Star, and the legendary violinist Scarlett Rivera, who played with Bob Dylan on his Rolling Thunder Review tour and did that amazing violin work on Hurricane on the Desire album. They just played a special show out in NoCal to commemorate that tour at 50, and we really had a good time talking with them. Check out First Concert Memories for that. But today we're going to do a review of a live show that I wasn't even sure I was going to go to, or if I did, wasn't sure I was going to enjoy. But boy, am I glad that I went, because it was a lot of fun, and the performance was excellent, and it brought back a lot of memories of a band and an album that I truly love. We're to see Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening, where they did Physical Graffiti in its entirety. Not in order, though, but in its entirety to celebrate its 50th. Now, we've already celebrated its 50th, as we did 2 episodes reviewing the album earlier this year. It's the only double album Led Zeppelin ever did, and it is very diverse. You've got straight-ahead rockers, you've got long epics, you've got short little acoustic numbers. Jimmy's playing slide, he's playing the double neck, he's playing acoustic. Just a fantastic album that really showed everything that Led Zeppelin could do. Now, Jason's been doing this for a long time. It's 15 years that he's been offering up these Led Zeppelin evenings where they'll go through a set of Zeppelin tunes. And what's great about it is Jason does serve as MC. He'll come out from behind the drums for a bit, and he will tell stories about his father, John, from when he was growing up, talking about how he got into Led Zeppelin. And then, of course, eventually played with Jimmy Page and Robert Plant and John Paul Jones, which is not only a dream come true, but he got to then ask them questions about the band, questions that some of us as fans had for so long. And that's really the point of the evenings. Like, he knows how many Led Zeppelin fans there are out there. He knows how many people love the music, and he's one of them. And he also knows that there's no more authentic Led Zeppelin anymore. With his father gone, there is no more Led Zeppelin. Robert doesn't want to dwell on the past. If he plays Zeppelin songs with his new bands, they're usually reworked. Jimmy doesn't really tour anymore, and neither is John Paul Jones. So he's a real conduit, not only to have the authenticity to play these songs live and celebrate them, but to share some stories about how these songs came to be, what the different band members' roles were in creating the music, and what it was like to be John Bonham's son. It's really kind of a fun and entertaining night, one that I wasn't expecting, but one that I ended up just really having a ball at. And the band was incredible, especially the guitarist, Jimmy Sakurai, who has taken on Jimmy Page's identity, his look, his movements, his equipment, his playing style. It's kind of uncanny and also a little creepy, but if you want to have a fun time seeing a Led Zeppelin tribute, this is the guy for the show, no doubt about it. And I can't recommend it enough. And though he's been doing this for 15 years, I think this 50th anniversary of Physical Graffiti has been huge for him. They're going to end up doing over 90 shows. This is the 3rd leg of this year's tour, because people love not only Led Zeppelin, but they love Physical Graffiti. And the way that Jason tells the stories and tells the stories of his own life, which are now kind of part of the Led Zeppelin story, it's just a great night. And if you love Led Zeppelin, I think you'd like it. There's still some dates left, so if you can see them on the end of this tour, I would highly recommend it. Before we get into it, we do have a little bit of business to take care of. We love to mention we are proud members of the Pantheon Podcast Network, a family of over 100 different shows. You can learn more at pantheonpodcast.com or follow on socials at Pantheon Pods. And we absolutely love giving a shout out to our intergalactic sponsor, rarevinyl.com, who's based in the UK, folks, but they ship all over the world and they procure collections from all over the world too. And whether you're looking for that first print Led Zeppelin 1 in blue that costs over 2,000 quid, or you just want the Celebration Day DVD, maybe you want an original copy of every Led Zeppelin album, maybe you want a cool poster or some kind of magazine from the 70s, rarevinyl.com has a huge collection with over 250,000 items in stock. And the cool thing is they gave us a code UGLY, UGLY, that if you use at checkout, you can save 10% off your entire order. Not just one item, but one entire order. That means if you get the blue letter Led Zeppelin 1, you could save over 200 quid. That's real savings, my friend. And it wouldn't be the only thing that was discounted in your bag. Everything that you buy gets the 10% discount with the code UGLY. So you're shopping for the holidays? Go to rarevinyl.com, use the code UGLY, save 10%. Your record collection will thank you. Now back to Jason Bonham. Had a blast at this show. Love Led Zeppelin, and we've already done a bunch of Led Zeppelin shows this year. I kind of thought we might be done. When I saw this was coming, I thought I'd take the opportunity to go. Didn't know if we'd do a show on it or not, but it was such a fun night. It was such a good time. The band were so good, and I liked Jason's story so much that I couldn't help it. I said, Jackson, I know you weren't there, but we're talking about this night with Jason Bonham doing Led Zeppelin because it was a lot of fun. And there's still some shows left, so you can still go catch it. So let's get to it. We're talking Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening, celebrating Physical Graffiti at 50, here on The Wolf. Just like we talked about a couple weeks or whatever ago it was, when we did the Rush reunion announcement, I thought we were done with Rush for the year. And then they come out with this huge thing. This like, oh my God, can you believe we're coming back? Yes, we'll do 12 shows, but maybe we'll do more than that. Okay, we'll do 20 shows. Okay, we'll do 38. Okay, we'll do 58 shows.
Is it up to 58 now? Oh my
58
goodness.
shows, yeah.
I can't even imagine what that first pre-sale sign-up looked like then. Wait, how many people?
It was a mess, yeah, because I was on it. But that's fine. I mean, and I was saying the same thing about Led Zeppelin for the year because,
okay.
Right,
Wait,
because
they're not going on tour, are they?
No, and thank goodness they're not. But we, early in the year, did The Firm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Turning 40.
Right.
That's obviously a Jimmy Page, a shoot off. We did the Led Zeppelin movie. We did Robert Plant's Shaken and Stirred as it turned 40.
Mm-hmm.
We did Physical Graffiti, a 2-part episode on that classic album turning 50. And that was a lot of fun, obviously. And then we also did recently a First Concert Memories with Tony Michaelides, seen them in 1969 on the UK summer tour.
Mm-hmm.
After they kind of hit it in America, they're still kind of waiting to take off there in the UK. Not to mention, we did a 3-part episode on Live Aid. We dedicated a fair amount of time to the Led Zeppelin reunion and how bad it was. We had Alan Hunter come on and talk about the spot he was in, trying to interview them after that, which I guess they thought was great at the time. They didn't realize that it was so bad. So that's a lot of, you could argue that's 7 or so shows dedicated to Led Zeppelin. So you figure, okay, that's enough. Not going to do any more in 2025. 2026, sure. But 2025, no, that's it. Except that I saw that Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening was coming to town. I don't have to go drive somewhere. I don't have to catch a flight anywhere. It's coming downtown. I can just drive downtown and go to the show.
Now, remind me, there was a show maybe last year, where he was part of the tour, but not the part that you saw. Does that sound familiar?
Oh, was he supposed to open for somebody?
He was opening, but just not when you saw them. So you missed out last time. So now here's your time to see the whole thing, and not as an opening act, but as a headliner.
Right. Yes, exactly. And I've heard a little bit about this over time. It's Jason. He goes out, he's got a band, he does Led Zeppelin tunes. He's got a right to play them, I guess. He does have the last name. He has played with Jimmy and Robert and John Paul a few times over the decades.
Mm-hmm.
It's about as close to authentic Zeppelin as you're going to get because Robert won't do it anymore. He has no interest. He might do 1 or 2 songs and they might be reworked.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's just counting his money.
I was going to say sometimes I think of Jimmy Page as what was that TV show with the old duck, Scrooge McDuck, where he's just swimming around in that big vault full of money.
Yeah.
Doing the backstroke. Yeah. But even when we saw them in 1994, the two of them were back together. They were doing Led Zeppelin songs, but not the original.
For the most part, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I figured this would be a fun thing to do. I love Led Zeppelin.
Mm-hmm.
We celebrated Physical Graffiti. They were going to do Physical Graffiti in its entirety to celebrate it at 50. So I'm like, okay, great. That's cool. I'm down with it. I'll go. And I didn't buy any other tickets, just me, right? So I just said, I'm going to go by myself. Nobody's going to be talking to me. I'll just go. I'm telling you, as I get older, that's so much better. And unless it's you who knows what to talk about and when not to talk and, all that kind
of
stuff.
When is this? Do we have to stay for the whole thing? Is all of this the Led Zeppelins? What's going on?
Oh, I like this song too. Don't you like this song? Look me in the eyes and tell me how much you like this song. I'm more important. You only talked to me for 3 hours leading up to this. It's not like you were waiting for these tickets for 8 months or anything.
Is it supposed to be this loud?
It's another part of getting old. Just to walk in during the theme music opening, I have to have my earplugs in. I can't imagine actually going to a rock concert these days without earplugs.
Especially inside.
Oh my God. I can't believe I used to not even think about it.
Yeah.
And then, there's that kind of overwhelming thing. And then you kind of get used to it. And then your ears kind of buzz for a few days. But that's all part of it, Rusty.
It was worth it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I get in there.
All right. So now, wait a minute. Where are we? Are we at the Palace?
We're at the Louisville Palace.
Okay. Got it.
The world famous Louisville Palace.
Where you just saw the Black Crowes.
That's right. And so I get down there and it's pretty cool. I mean, nice wide stage. She kind of has a drum riser. Not unlike Eric Carr's with Kiss back in the day. That's kind of, they're round. It has circles of lights around it. And there's another one on top of that with circle lights. And then the drums are on top of that.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. The bass drum is a picture of John, I think from Led Zeppelin 1, or at least very close to that.
Mm-hmm.
So you see John's face right there.
Yeah.
And in the background, it's the building. It's the Physical Graffiti building against the backdrop of like pink and yellow skies with a bunch of Zeppelins going by.
Oh.
To the right, which is, it's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So immediately I walk in and they're like, that's cool. And it's an evening. It's Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. So, it's not really an opening act there.
That you have to put up with. Yeah. No offense,
right.
But
I'm never there for the opening act anymore.
Right.
Unless you're like Noel Gallagher opening for Snow Patrol, but I don't think he has to do that anymore.
No, those days are behind him now.
Yeah. So, and I was down on the floor. I'm in row U, which probably puts me, because there's a pit down there. It's between 20 and 25th row, something like that.
Okay.
Right in the center. And I'm right in the center. So good view. What else would you like to know before we get into it?
Let's see. Okay. So we got the seats down. We've got so you can see the stage setup before you get going. And that's actually the cool part about not having a opening band, because they have like the tarps over everything, so you don't really get to see that.
That's right.
So you're ready to go. You see that. It sounds pretty cool, because it's going to sound great. Like you said, he's played with Zeppelin before. He played with Hart at the Kennedy Center Honors.
That's right.
And that was really cool. And just to see the look on their faces too, to see him back there was awesome. So he knows what he's doing. There's direct connection. They all sound pretty good. You're ready to go. What's the crowd like? Don't want to say there probably weren't too many young people there, but were they psyched?
There were some, though. There were some.
Okay.
Obviously, just like we grew up without Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
But we grew up the 7 years after we got into them. This when they quit. It's more like 47 for these kids these days.
Jeez. Yeah.
Or whatever. But yeah, I did see some younger folks there, which is good. But yeah, mostly it's a bunch of old people. But you mentioned the Kennedy Center Honors. Can I just take a real quick side note real fast?
Sure. Yeah.
We haven't talked about Ace Frehley on the show dying.
We have not.
And
no.
we'll probably save that for the end of the year. But the fact of the matter is, after he died, I had to go tell the Wolf Cub, because she's a huge Kiss fan. And I took her to see Ace this summer. We did not choose to do a show on it because the show wasn't that great. It was just a check the box kind of situation. But I said, honey, I got bad news. Ace died.
Okay.
And she, of course, she knew exactly who I'm talking about. So she gave me a hug. She's like, I'm sorry, Daddy. I'm like, are you glad you saw him? She's like, oh, yes. She goes upstairs and she gets one of those little candles. It's a battery operated thing. It looks like a candle. It's like something you put in the window at Christmas time.
Okay, yeah.
Tiny little battery. It looks like a little, votive candle or whatever. And I gave her the old Ace Frehley album cover that we had in our dorm room back in the day. and I framed it in one of those little album frames. I had some spare ones. And she put one of those little votives on there on Monday. I just went in there to feed her lizard, and it's still on there. It's still flashing on there. I'm like, what a sweet kid. And God rest you, Ace. We'll have more about you later.
Yeah, but I'm glad she did get to experience that with you. You didn't want to have to go into the whole thing of, well, there's really no reason he should even still be here after the horrible things he's put himself through.
After the DeLorean accident.
Yeah, correct.
Break,
That's what I was thinking about.
Let alone everything after that,
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Deborah Bonham.
And I am the Irish werewolf in England, Peter Bullock.
And you're listening to the Ugly American Werewolf in London.
So I'm psyched. So at about 8:30, they kind of kick in there, and they straight into Custard Pie.
Okay, well, I mean that's the intro to the album, right? Yep.
It is.
Yep.
But as we spoke about on the show, it is one of my very favorite Led Zeppelin songs. I think it's kind of the epitome of a Led Zeppelin song, and that it's kind of up front in your face. Yeah. And Jimmy can be a little sloppy. He doesn't have to be right on time all the time for that.
Okay, so speaking of that, who is in the band? And
okay.
More importantly, who is not in the band? Because I don't think the person I wanted to be there was there.
Oh, I don't know. I think he probably was. So on vocals, this guy named James Dillon. He's shaved head, bald.
Okay.
And kind of a nerd. I mean, he sounded like a nice guy. He's just wearing like a black t-shirt and jeans. He's not like all dressed. I mean, the jeans were maybe a little couture, but they didn't look that way on him.
Yeah.
Just kind of looks like a guy who you would know. And he plays a little acoustic guitar too when you need to. He can belt out a Robert Plant thing. So he does some of his affectations, but he's not exactly doing a Robert Plant tribute. He just sounds a little bit like him, right?
Okay.
But Jimmy Sakurai is on lead guitar.
Oh my goodness, Mr. Jimmy himself.
Okay, I'm going to come back to him in a second.
Sure.
Dorian Hartsong is on bass, but he also does mandolin when it's time to do the acoustic bits.
Okay, yeah.
And then Alex Howland is on the keyboards, but he can also do some backup guitar to do some fills when Jimmy is soloing, okay? Mm-hmm. And that was great about Custard Pie because for the longest time, I thought it was the bass, but it wasn't. That was on the keys there.
Yeah.
So he was playing that doodle-doodle.
Okay.
Now, I think the bass player was maybe doubling in some parts, but it was just great. And the fact of the matter is, Zeppelin never really did that song live for some reason. So you never really got to see that with Zeppelin. So it's cool that they started, you're doing a tribute, we come up, boom, first song, and it's a banger, and it's one of my favorites, and it, smacks you in the face, and it's got a good groove to it. I'll tell you this, I thought it was a little slow. Okay. Like there may be a half beat behind or something like that. Then Jimmy Sakurai does his solo for it, which is pretty well spot on. And then when they come back out of the break, then it was like, okay, now we're on time now, because the fact of the matter is, this is the third leg of this tour.
Oh, geez.
Jason's been doing this kind of all year. This first leg did so well, they decided to do a second leg. The second leg did so well, they decided to do a third. And so this runs through into November. And he said, this is the 73rd night of the show, but they just taken about 7 weeks off. So this is the first night of the third leg.
Okay.
Of the tour. So, they're kicking some rust off is what I kind of attribute that to. Like,
okay.
they've been apart for a little while because like Jason's like, I've been out and riding a dirt bike for 6 weeks or whatever. And lead singer James is like, well, I've been painting for the last 6 weeks,
Boo.
Exactly. But killer, they sounded great. They look great and we're off and running.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, they get into The Rover, which is the second song on the first side, but it's
right.
it fits. It's kind of what you expect to hear, right? I mean, when you listen to the record, you know how it goes. So
right.
you kind of, it's not a shock to say, oh yeah, they played that next.
And one of the things looking at this thing too, I didn't realize that this show was going to be the Physical Graffiti 50 years. So how cool is that they played these songs and wasn't just like, here's Led Zeppelin's greatest hits. Like, ugh, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear the deep tracks. I mean, that's what we were talking about when we reviewed the record. All these songs that you never hear on the radio that are awesome.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, there's 15 songs on the double album, and I will admit that while some of them were going on, I forgot how long some of these songs are, right? You know, not that it was bad or I was ready for it to be over, but it's like, oh, this does have another couple of things, doesn't it? Yeah, we're not going to be done with this for another 2 or 3 minutes. But no, the Rover was great. And again, I'll tell you all about this Jimmy's guy in a second. But so you get through the Rover, and then that's when Jason picks up the mic and he addresses the crowd. And he doesn't just, you know, do it for 30 seconds. Hey, Louisville, great to be back.
Good evening.
Here's the next one. It's called the Wonton Song. No, he really kind of goes into why he does this, that he's been doing it now for 15 years. He kind of said, okay, you know, I'll do it. I'll tribute to my dad, play some Led Zeppelin songs. Yeah, it'll be fine. You know, whatever.
And we are now on leg 3. So I said, you know, let's do the whole of Physical Graffiti. We've been doing this now 15 years. This tour, I said I'd do one time. One time I said, I'll pay homage to my father, we'll do one tour. 150 year. Because I soon realised it wasn't really about me and me telling the stories about me and my dad. It was about our love for Led Zeppelin. It's the reason why we're still doing it. We are fans as much as you guys are. Maybe not quite as much as you guys are.
But it's been going on for 15 years. And actually, you know, he's had a lot of the same guys with him for that time. I mean, Dorian Hartsong's been his bass guy since 2011, and James Dillon has been his vocalist since 2010. Alex Howland on the keyboards has been there since 2014, and Jimmy came in 2017. So he's the new guy who's been there for 8 years, you know, so the band's pretty well together. They've been doing this a long time, but he just kind of talked about his love for Led Zeppelin, you know, and that he grew up a fan just like us, listening to the music and wanting to learn more about it. And so he kind of prefaced that, like, I'll tell you some stories about how some of these songs came to be and where they came from and stuff like that. And, you know, and we'll get into it. And then he's like, but, you know, for now, here we go. And then he just boom. And then they got into the Wonton Song. So it wasn't just, it would give you 3 or 4 real minutes of chatting and why it's important and all that kind of stuff, and you know why it's so much fun to play these songs and honor this record, because he's like, to me, this is it. This is the big one. This is, you know, it's the most diverse, and it's got some of the hardest heavy stuff on it. It's also got a lot of stuff that got reworked from like Zeppelin 4 sessions, which is 4 years before. He's like, Jimmy doesn't throw away anything, so he keeps it around, and then when it's ready, you know, he'll let it go to everybody. So immediately, because I figured this is either going to suck and be cheesy and I'm not going to like it, or it's like, I'm going to love this. And pretty quickly it's like, I'm glad I'm here, you know.
So the lights are coming down. You're like, this could go either way. How is this going to work? Let's see. So when this came out, Jason was long about 9 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
And there are those stories of, like, I guess in the whatever room, rec room, rumpus room, whatever they had at the Bonham house, he had a little drum kit and he'd play along and with Dad. So he's kind of always been doing this.
Yeah, but he also said, you know, by like 79 or 80 or whatever, he's he's a small person. He's like 13 years old or whatever. Yeah. And he's a big Police fan. And he's getting up in his dad's grills like, Stuart Copeland's way better than you, Dad. And like, you know what? Stuart Copeland can do some things that maybe your dad couldn't do. He's different.
Right. Yeah.
But better is hard to quantify.
And you know, it's funny too. I'm sure if you asked Stuart Copeland, he would say, I am in no way better than John Bonham.
I know. Yeah. I know he would. And Jason, if he had it to say over, he probably wouldn't say it either.
Yeah. There was somebody, who the hell was it? Now I don't even friggin' remember, but it was somebody that, like, because Jason at one point in time said, I don't want to do it. I don't want to have anything to do with my father. I want to be my own person. I want to play my own way. I'm going to play like so-and-so, whoever, I can't remember now. And he met the person. He's like, are you out of your mind? All of us just want to be your father. Every single person that heard from Led Zeppelin when it came out after that all wanted to be John Bonham. Shut up. Just play like him.
Exactly. If you can, do it.
Right.
It is a show, and we're here to have fun, make some new friends. We can't change yesterday. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So let's enjoy right here and now.
I mean, I understand he had to make his own name a little bit away from like he's not just, he fills in for his dad when Jimmy and Robert need him.
Right.
But, and you know, he played with Foreigner, he plays in Black Country Communion, he plays in...
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I mean, he is a legitimate professional drummer away from Led Zeppelin.
Absolutely.
But I mean, this is you're the direct pipeline to this.
That's right. And he said, I think it was a Celebration Day thing. He said, I was just, I went from being a little kid running around, in the studio breaking stuff, to being a big kid, sober, jacked up on coffee, running around, and asking all these Led Zeppelin questions. And it said eventually Jimmy and Robert said, we got to limit you to 2 questions a day. That's it. Because you're asking, you're just, you're bringing up too much and it's too hard to remember, and stop it. When did you get to be such a fan anyway? Like, when did that happen? Because when I was young and around it, you take it for granted. You're in the middle of it. You can't see it.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on. And then you had to grow up and get away from it to realize, hey, this was something special.
Right.
And I want to know everything I can.
Yeah. To you, this was just, normal life. But there is a story from one time when I think they were rehearsing for a tour, and they were like 3 or 4 songs into it, and Plant sees John Bonham standing to the side. Wait, what the hell? And he turns around and it's Jason. I don't know how old he was at this point in time, but Plant said he couldn't tell the difference.
He was young too. I don't know exactly how old, but he was young.
But he was spot on.
Yeah. Yeah. So, he grew up wanting to be his dad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when he was pretty young, he wanted to be him from a party standpoint.
Well, unfortunately.
But fortunately, he did clean himself up.
Yeah, he told a story about how he and somebody else, I think one of the other guys from the Bonham band, were outside the where did Lemmy hang out? The Rainbow.
Right.
They're outside. They're either peeing on a car or kicking the side of a car or something. And Lemmy comes out and he's like, "You need to cut that shit out. Like, you need to calm down," or something like that. And he's like, when Lemmy tells you to calm down, you kind of say to yourself, wait a minute, maybe I've
overstayed my welcome. Yeah, maybe I need to clean it up just a tad.
Well, you can see it's going to be a fun night. It is. But if you thought that we were going to continue on in the order of the album, no, that's way too easy. Then you could be like planning when you go to the bathroom and get a drink.
Okay, but see, after he does the Rover, he said, okay, those are the first 2 songs of the album. But if you thought we were going to run through it in order, you were mistaken.
All right.
I'm building this, so that it has an ebb and flow to it. It has a runtime, and there's an acoustic set in there, and then you can build from there. So now we'll get into, the way that I want you to hear it. It does the Wanton song, and then they do In My Time of Dying, which is a heavy-duty blues tune.
Okay, so now wait a minute. Wanton song is side 4.
Yeah.
And then In My Time of Dying is, where are you? That's the 3rd track. So we've gone back now. Okay. Well, that's cool.
But it's got that.
So I can die easily.
All right, now it's time to talk about Jimmy Sakurai.
All right.
Because we were one of them, only we didn't have like the talent or the drive, but
correct.
We wanted to be Jimmy Page at some time. And when we were doing air guitar, maybe even in the dorm, picturing ourselves as Jimmy Page, because, we're like skinny white boys with black hair.
Correct.
We could have been Jimmy Page in the universe somewhere, right?
All we needed was the dragon pajamas.
That's right. And maybe, some talent or a decent guitar.
Well,
we didn't have either one of those things.
We had the desire, though.
So this guy was obviously someone who worshipped Jimmy Page and then wanted to play like him, obviously. Probably prompted him to pick up the guitar and get as good as he could. And then he started taking it to a different level, really getting it down 100%, making sure he has all of Jimmy's equipment. But a lot of people could do that.
Sure.
He's got his hair just like Jimmy in the 70s.
Yes.
He's got similar kind of clothes that Jimmy might have worn in the 70s. His back's even a little hunched over the way Jimmy does. He's got the moves where he kicks his feet out just like Jimmy. And then when he plays it and he does like that, just like Jimmy did in The Song Remains the Same, he kept doing that throughout the thing. I'm like, this guy is doing everything in his power to channel James Patrick Page. And I got to tell you, Jackson, he was awesome. He was so good. And if you had the real Jimmy Page, obviously people would have been excited and it would have been cool. I seriously doubt he would have been as spot on as Jimmy Sakurai was that night.
Well, you got to figure he probably wouldn't have been as spot on even back in the day with the states that he was in. The first time I ever saw this dude, I thought it was Jimmy Page because he's got his back to the crowd. He's got the curly hair. You're right. He's got the hunch. He's got the Les Paul. And it's like, what is this? I don't remember ever seeing this footage. What year is this from? This looks new. What the hell? He turns around. It's a Japanese guy.
Like,
it's not Jimmy Page. But like you said, he moves the same. He's got the same clothes. He's got the same hair. He's got the same moves. Yeah, it's like he channels Jimmy Page out to the audience.
Which is, first reaction is, dude, fail as yourself before you succeed as someone else. Like, what are you doing? But he's so good at it. It sounded so good. And I'm like, because you've heard 70s Zeppelin bootlegs, not all of them are that good.
Right, correct.
And it's like, it sounded so damn good. He even had the dark aviator glasses on the first 4 songs. I'm like, he is just, But the thing is, at this point, he must have met Jimmy.
I think so, yeah.
He must have, right? Jason must have said, hey, Jimmy, this is Jimmy.
You got to meet this dude.
So I just wonder what that feels like for Jimmy Page to have this avatar, this Japanese avatar, basically.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine that? There's a guy, and he makes a living being you, like pretending to be you. People are so excited to see you that they'll pay money to see a guy pretend to be you.
Yeah.
It has to be a little bit flattering.
I would think so, yeah.
I mean, creepy. But also a little flattering.
But playing that slide in My Time of Dying.
Yeah.
So good. It was awesome. It was so good. And obviously the guy doesn't sound like Robert exactly, doesn't look like him.
Right.
But when the band's playing and you close your eyes, sometimes you could think you were someplace else.
Yeah, I watched a couple of videos for this to kind of get ready. And yeah, the singer, I'm like, what are we doing here, dude? Because put some other clothes on. Like, it looks like you were just kind of hanging out and they're like, hey, can you sing? Get up here with your T-shirt on. Come on, put a little effort into this.
I know, but he's just being understated. And it's got to be hard to compete with 1970s Robert Plant as far as
that is true, too.
The way he looked on stage. That's crazy. But anyway, so that's great. And then he takes another break.
Okay.
And he shows off some more fun this time. He goes, okay, so I, like you, had a question. I'm like, Dad, why is the song Houses of the Holy not on the album Houses of the Holy? He goes, that's a good question. Go ask Jimmy. He goes, well, I don't know if I actually asked him that. But through research and understanding, it's like when they're doing House of the Holy, Dancing Days and House of the Holy sounded a lot alike.
Okay, yeah.
And they just liked Dancing Days better. Or it was more finished. It was further along maybe than Houses was. So they put Dancing Days on the album. But again, Jimmy doesn't throw anything away. So when it comes time for these sessions, okay, well, how do I change this up? Or how do I make it work? And then he did. And, now it's Houses of the Holy. Always was a point of contention as teenagers when we were getting into the band, right? At least it wasn't just us.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And why would you do that? Like, are you intentionally messing with me? Why would you put the not only is it's the title track of another album. And yeah, now you say that, it makes total sense. And I never got that school of thought where you would get rid of anything. If you've got a halfway decent idea, yeah, maybe it's not done, put it away and dust it off later. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So How's the Holy? Always loved that one, and they did it great. Here's the thing. You mentioned that Jimmy had a Les Paul, maybe a few different Les Pauls, slings it down low to play it like Jimmy Page.
Correct.
He also had a black and white Dan Electro.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
And he played some slide on it.
Cool. Yeah, that's what that was for. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
then if he had those two, then I'm waiting for you to tell me what else he had also.
Yeah, he had it.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait. Was it sitting there that you could see it, or
no?
Did he? Okay.
No. There's nothing sitting on stage. They come and change after songs or whatever.
Got it.
But yes, the red 1275 did make an appearance. Because you need a 12 string on a couple songs and you need to be able to jump, back and forth a little bit, right? And was it Sick Again? I'm trying to remember which one. Or was it 10 Years Gone? Night Flight? I can't remember. I don't know. Maybe I have a little bit of video of that. I'm not sure.
How cool was that when they brought it out, though? Because you're waiting for it. You're like, come on.
Well, especially after I saw the Dan Electro, I'm like, okay, well, if you're doing that, then why wouldn't you?
Right.
Plus, no spoiler alert, but they didn't for me, but they had played Stairway to Heaven at some of these shows to wrap it up.
Okay. Well, and then you got to have it for that.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't have a choice. But Sick Again, I like.
Yeah.
It's kind of about groupies, and that's always fun. And then they do In the Light. Now, when the dude, what was his name, Howland, is on the keys there, I mean, obviously you're using the same noise that JPJ used, but the bite has a little, I don't know, it's got like a John Lord flavor to it from like Deep Purple. It's got that heavy organ electric thing on it. It goes, you can feel the buzz in the air when they were getting it. It goes, but that build up is like, damn, that's really good, man. Why don't other people play this instead of their own shitty songs, man? This is really good. Now, it is also one of the longer ones, right? It kind of goes on for a little while. So it's like, okay, is this about over? No, okay, that's right. It's got to go. But I still loved it.
And I like the fact that they're not just sticking to the 4 guys. Like, it's okay. I understand there are other parts here on the record. It's totally cool to have somebody else back there to play the keyboards. I'm okay with that. Go ahead.
That's right. So I'm like, this is great. They're not doing it in order. I mean, they did the first 2. That's great. Kind of got you in the mood for it. And now he's telling stories. And this is a lot of fun, and like, this is cool. After In the Light, Jason actually leaves the stage really for the only time during the show. And they do an acoustic set. And Jimmy goes and sits on the drum riser with the bass player. And I think that Jason introduced it as Bron VR with a V.
Okay.
Bron VR, like that.
All right.
I'd never said it that way before. I assume that that's the right way to say it if that's what he's saying.
Honestly, yeah, you would hope if that's the way that he's pronouncing it, that it would be right. I mean, it could be, it could not be. I'm not from there. I don't know.
Right. But Jimmy, this time, it's possible it was his best performance, even though like some of these he's got to play for 9-10 minutes and do the rhythm and do a couple different solos and do slide and all that. It was perfect. It sounded like just like Song Remains the Same when they went from the airport to the Madison Square Garden or whatever. It sounded exactly like it. And it's, of course, it's beautiful. It's just a little instrumental thing that they'd had around for a little while. But damn, I'm like, this guy is just, if Jimmy Page played it, he knows how to play it.
Yeah.
And that was just perfect. It was crazy.
Hi, this is Jim McCarthy of the Arbors, and you're listening to the Ugly American Werewolf in London.
So this is like the 3 acoustic songs or whatever, which is kind of nice because Zeppelin used to do that, right? They used to come out and do a Zeppelin bit, an acoustic bit in the 70s.
Right.
Next up, for Boogie with Stu, they get him a couple of pads, like electronic drums.
Okay.
To come sit out there and sit up. And one of them's cuckoo and one of them's kaka. So what he has to do is kum kum kaka, kum kum kaka, kum kum kaka.
So he only has the 2.
The electronics do the thing, and that's all he has to do is kum kum kaka, 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 like that.
Yeah.
It's like, I wish they'd done this for Dad back in the day, because all they would do is give him a tambourine. It's like John fucking Bonham, fucking tambourine. What the shit? He goes, well, that's because they just did that to keep your dad awake during that portion.
Not yet. Not have him wander off somewhere.
That's right. I'm
gonna take a little break, but nope. Stay right here. Stay right here where I can see you.
But so it's kind of like you're getting 2 shows in one. You're getting the playing of this music, which is actually really damn good. But you're also getting storytellers featuring Jason Bonham. And I bet that if we had seen them on all of these tours over the last 15 years, some of these would get pretty redundant.
Okay, yeah, the stories, yeah.
Right, yeah. But Boogie with Stu was great, and that's when the bass player had out the mandolin, and he was really jamming. That's more of a mandolin jam than a Jimmy Page guitar jam. And that guy was really going off, man. It was really, really good. And then he talked about he's from the Black Country. And, this is a song about Black Country woman. He talked a lot about his wife, and his daughter has just made him a grandfather.
Oh, jeez.
And because he's 59, he's almost 60. He's 59 years old. So it's not that odd to be
right,
a granddad at that age. And he kind of went off for a while. He's like, look, my daughter, she married for love. He's a good man. He works hard, loves her, loves him, but she didn't marry for money. And he's like, and then they brought me this baby. And I'm like, oh, this is the one I love now. Like, you all aren't getting anything. She's getting everything.
But when I saw this little baby, I couldn't help it but go, I'm sorry, you're not going to get a penny, she's going to get more. But my daughter's very good. She gets her on the phone, she says, where are you, Papa? Why aren't you here? And I go, well, someone's going to pay for your private school in a few years.
Yeah, I know how that works.
But then after they do Black Country Woman, he's like, okay, that's the end of the acoustic set. It's all going to be electric, and we're going uphill from here. You're going to see it build, and you're going to love this, right? So here we go. Here's one that I think is really beautiful, and they did Down by the Seaside.
Okay. But that's a good way to start. Like if you're saying you're just going to start building, that's a cool way to start back on the electric side.
Absolutely. And then after it was done, it's like, isn't that a beautiful song? Like, you still can't get over what a great song that is. Like what Led Zeppelin, they're always called like a hard rock band or heavy metal band. I don't think that's true. They spawned a lot of hard rock and heavy metal.
And they had hard rock songs. Absolutely.
Sure. They could do it when they wanted to, but they were so much more than that. And that is a pretty song. It's a little long, so it doesn't get on the radio all that much. But my friend Patrick will call him for this. He loves that song. He's the one who first kind of alerted me to the fact that terrestrial radio ruins Led Zeppelin because they play the same 6 or 7 songs over rock and roll, a whole lot of love,
She's just a woman.
Black Dog, over and over and over again. It's like, when are they going to play Down by the Seaside? When's the last time you heard them play that? Never. They play Kashmir for the 10 billionth time.
Right.
And he's right. He's right. And terrestrial radio sucks.
It's so bad now. It's so bad. I don't know what the hell I was doing, but I was in a car with no Sirius, and it wasn't that long. I'll just put the radio on. It's all commercials now. It's like 2 lame songs and then 20 minutes of commercials and then 3 more lame songs. It's awful.
I know. And if you actually hear a good song, you're so psyched about it.
Right.
Like, oh my God. And then they'll follow up with Guns N' Roses for the 15th time.
I don't need a personal injury lawyer for the 15th time, okay? I've got it. I'm okay. Thanks.
Okay, yes, my testosterone is low. I'm not coming to your clinic, okay? Stop, all right? I'm in my 50s. That's just what happens, all right? Just stop, okay? I got enough of my hair. I don't need to regrow it. Just stop. Anything else? No, there's not. And then they do Night Flight. So, they kind of keep building here, like, little heavier stuff. They do 10 Years Gone. He started talking about, it was 10 years. That 10 years, by this time this came out in 75, that had been a tumultuous 10 years in all of their lives. Mm-hmm. Things had changed, and he talked about how before he got together with Plant, he would sometimes come up to the front of the stage to sing John Bonham. And his mother said that was his girl time because he wanted to get the birds to know, hey, there's a good looking drummer here. And I got stuff going on, and he would sing the Kings, I think, all day and all of the night. Like that's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
He's like, and at one show, that's where he met his mom. They started dating 18 months later. I come out, kind of thing. And then 18 months out of that, he's in Led Zeppelin.
Oh, oh my goodness. Yeah.
And then at 7 years later after that, so that's 10 years. So it's really 10 years since he really met his mom when this song came out, basically. And then he started, he became a father very young. He was still a teenager when Jason was born. So then that kind of changed it a little bit, because it was 10 years gone at that point. But for me, it's 15 years gone since I started doing this stuff. And Dad's been 45 years gone, kind of thing. And he just kind of talked about how when he plays the music, it brings him closer to his father. He really does feel closer to him. And he said, even though I did Celebration Day, look, Led Zeppelin is just Jimmy, Robert, John Paul, and my dad. That's it. Anything else is not, for my money, is not Led Zeppelin. I appreciate kudos that people have given me. The Celebration thing was good, but that's not really Led Zeppelin. It's just not. And he got applause for that because he's not like, I was in Led Zeppelin. He's not doing that.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And that's why I still, even though I was sad that they said no to that big reunion, I'm actually, in hindsight, kind of glad because it was just over with. It wasn't just, hey, here we're out milking the fans for more money. And I really don't think, had they done that, that Plant could have sung like he did back then.
Oh, God,
I think he would have been disappointed.
Yeah. And look, our friend Mick Wall, who I hope we have back on the show again here soon, he said, look, they didn't break up because John Bonham died. They broke up because they were done.
Right.
As a band, they couldn't do it anymore. Robert didn't want to do it anymore. Jimmy was a mess. Yeah. So was John. They had to stop, and it just took one of them dying to make them realize that they had to do it.
No, that is a cool attitude though. That like I can celebrate this, but I'm not part of this. I understand that I'm not this isn't my band. I'm just paying tribute to this.
Yeah, I mean that's what he said. It means a lot to me, the same way it means a lot to you. And he talked about how they hit it first in America, and then they went back to the UK and like, okay, well now they're ours. They are English. And it's like, no, they will always be an American phenomenon. It's the U.S. that made Led Zeppelin. He goes, and I'm English. I was born in England, but my home is here. I live in L.A., because, well, that's for what he does. That's where he has to be.
Well, and it's kind of awesome there too,
Yeah, and taxes are about the same, I guess. I think they're a little higher if you're in California and you make millions of dollars. And so that's something else I was trying to figure out. I was like, well, how much did he make off of this? Palace is 2,800 people. Let's just say 2,500. Average price of $100 a ticket.
Okay.
So that's $250,000 plus you sell t-shirts, whatever else. Let's just say it's $300,000 just for argument's sake.
Okay.
Well, if they do 90 shows, Jackson, that's $27 million.
Right. And you got to figure that the operation is fairly lean. You're carrying your own bags. I
saw two buses, like a crew bus and a band bus,
Right. So there's not like four buses out there for the band. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's probably a pretty decent deal for him to keep going. I still to this day don't know what the hell happened with him and Sammy Hagar. That was a weird falling out. He's not doing that anymore. So yeah.
Well, he had options too. I mean, I think he had to go deal with some personal business. So they bring Kenny Aronoff in to replace him.
Right.
Kenny's top fucking notch. I mean, Jason, you're awesome, but so's Kenny.
Yeah.
So, and they can finish that way. And then, Jason always had this option or opportunity to go do his Led Zeppelin experience.
Right.
Do the thing to celebrate Physical Graffiti. It goes so well that they do dozens more dates, and then that goes so well that they do dozens more. No, it's great. And then they did Trample Underfoot.
Oh boy. Yeah. That song's awesome.
Yeah, the whole record's awesome. The worst song on the record, Boogie with Stu, live, was fantastic. It was awesome. Especially the way Jason did it, and you could hear the keys banging along. It was great, dude. It was so much fun. So Travel Under the Foot is a monster.
Yeah.
And then of course you know what they end with for Physical Graffiti.
They have to bring out the big one.
Yeah,
the epic.
You're crazy not to.
Yeah,
bring out the Kashmir, and I'm really starting to focus on. I'll admit, I looked at Jason because he is Jason Bonham. I wanted to see that he was doing, things that way.
Right.
But I couldn't take my eyes off Jimmy because I'm a guitar guy anyway, and this guy is acting just like Jimmy Page in every way.
Okay, so does he bring the bow out for this, or
no?
Okay.
No.
So not that much like Jimmy Page.
No. But, you're playing the Dan Electro for this and you're sliding around for it. And I'm like, God, this is good. This is really, really cool. And I'm like, I don't know if they had come to town. They probably have over the last however many years. I mean, I know I lived in other places over the last 10, 15 years, but I guess I never sought this out. And when it came up, I'm like, it's hard for me to chase anybody anymore. Unless you're somebody who I have to see like Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
It is hard for me to chase you anymore. Not that many people come to Louisville. I lived in London where everybody came. I lived in Amsterdam where all sorts of people came.
Right.
Not that many people come here. When I was young, I would drive to Indy, Cincy, Columbus, Nashville, wherever. Now I'm like, no, I'm not going to Lexington to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra. You crazy. So when somebody's actually coming to town that I want to see, like the Black Crowes, I would not travel to see the Black Crowes, but the Black Crowes come to town. Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, no doubt. I'll absolutely go. So when I saw this come up, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like fun, you know? And if I go by myself, I don't have to pay for a fancy dinner for the wife. I don't have to pay a babysitter.
You have to pay extra tickets.
I don't have to pay extra for the ticket. I don't have anybody talking at me when I'm trying to listen to the show. Yeah, I just go by myself. And I had a ball. I was so happy about it. And you know what? Once they got to Kashmir, you were standing up. For Trampled Underfoot in Kashmir, everyone was standing up. Like 25 rows back, you couldn't sit or you wouldn't see anything. You have to stand up because people were that into seeing these songs played again.
And that's crazy too. That's how they planned it out. We'll get you up on your feet.
Yeah. No, what was fun about it was that, like, I mean, obviously I think Jason is good being an MC. He's been doing this for a long time now. So he knows what works, knows what doesn't, knows what comedy works, all that kind of stuff. But it would be like, you know, before the wonton said, look, if you want to shake your stuff here, this is a good one to do it on, you know, and you know, they tell you, you know, and then it's like, okay, you guys want to jump up and down? Here's the one. And like for a couple of them, there was this one woman a few rows up who would jump into the aisle and start dancing. I'm like, yeah, that's one broad, you know, that's about it. Like, yeah, some people are going to feel it. Oh, I can't help myself. I just have to get up and dance. The rest was like, sit down. It's a 2-hour show. But by the time they got to Trampled Underfoot in Kashmir, everybody's up. Everybody's psyched about it. It was cool. It was a fun night. I mean, I highly recommend it. And the thing is, I think he is he coming to Florida, but he's going to, like, I think Orlando or Tampa or Atlanta is like
something like that. Yeah.
He's not coming to you.
He's not coming to Jacksonville, unfortunately. Cause now I'm like, cause at first you were like, I'm going to go see him. I'm like, okay, cool. Have a good time. But now talking about it, I'm like, oh, this sounds really good.
I'm telling you, you would love it. Any Led Zeppelin fan would love it, but you would like it. Especially you see Jimmy, like, I mean, in the world, there's probably like 100 people who could be the best Jimmy Page in like a Led Zeppelin tribute band or a cover band, right? And so those 100 have been doing it all their lives, and they've studied every note, and they play the equipment just right. And then this guy is just a notch over them.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm glad he got to meet Jason and play in this band, because if he didn't, I feel like his life would have been unfulfilled. But the thing is, there's probably about 4 or 5 more in the world somewhere, probably one in South America, and, you know, one in Kansas somewhere, and, you know, one God knows where in Europe, who can do all this stuff. It's just they haven't got the opportunity. And this guy, Jimmy, Mr. Jimmy, he's worth the price of admission.
That's awesome. I'm glad he was there. I didn't remember. I knew he'd been in the band before, and I was kind of hoping that he would be there, because I think if he wasn't, they would have gotten somebody who sounded good, but it just wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't have been the whole experience.
And then, you know, and people go crazy, and, you know, and I split at that point, because they do Whole Lot of Love and Rock and Roll to finish up. And I don't need to see that. I don't. Those are the songs the radio have killed, right? So
right, correct.
But a side note, I park in this lot that's like cheap and easy to get to and in and out of, like a few blocks away. It's kind of a pay your own thing, you know, you self-pay in there or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
I drive in there. I was going to park on the sidewalk, on the side of the road. And I just thought, well, if this goes more than 2 hours, if the meter maid comes, or, you know, I could get flagged, I don't want to get tickets, not worth it. I'll just go into the lot. And these guys were looking to pull out of the lot, but they were young guys. And they're kind of looking at me and looking back at each other, and looking at me and looking back at each other. I'm like, uh-oh, these guys trying to jack me or something. I'm just going to stay in the car here for a minute. And then they're about to drive off. So then I get out of the car, and then the other one jumps out. I'm like, oh shit, they are coming to jack me. No, they're like, hey dude, we just paid for parking for the night. Take our parking pass, man.
Oh, okay. Not only you're not getting jacked, you're getting a free gift.
Yes. I'm like, hey, well, that's really nice of you guys. So I gave them some stickers, said, hey, I'm working tonight. You know, here's my show. You can listen, you know, I'll give you a shout out on there. So I doubt they are, but if you are, fellas, hey, thanks a lot.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Hope you had a good night. So not everybody in America is bad.
Well, you found the 2 out there that aren't are. So that's excellent.
Yeah. Yeah. So the bottom line, would I go see him again? Yeah, I'd go see the same show again. But now that I know this is something that he does on a regular basis, and he's in good shape, right? I mean, he's not quite 60. He's sober.
Yeah.
He's taking care of himself for his family and for himself. So my feeling is he will continue to do this for more years to come. And who knows? I mean, well, next year they focus on Presence and they'll do Achilles' Last Stand for 50. Who knows? Well, they do 55 next year will be Zeppelin 4. So
yeah. Okay. So definitely put that on the list. I'm trying to think of the, how far I would go. It depends on too what day it is also. Like for me, like Orlando, that's not that far, But on a Wednesday night, that's not going to happen.
That's far. Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. But next year, it sounds like we've got some stuff to look forward to. We've got
That's
Rush
what I've been
to
hearing.
look forward to.
yes.
We suddenly have Iron Maiden to look forward to, maybe a couple of times. We'll see.
Alrighty.
We'll talk about that
Okay.
later. Foo Fighters are going to tour. You never know where they might show up. So things are looking up. And of course, Steve Hackett will be on tour because he's always on tour.
Right, correct.
God love him. So we'll have some live shows to see in 2026.
Excellent. Looking forward to it.
I'm telling you, Led Zeppelin fans, if you got a chance to go see Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening, don't miss it. It's a fun night. They do tunes that you love, and they do them really, really, really well. And you know from listening to the show that I love Physical Graffiti. I think it's the best album they ever did. It's the high water mark for Led Zeppelin. They didn't do a ton afterwards. And Jason and his band do it justice. That's for sure. Really fun. Kind of a fun story. We kind of talked during the show about how John Bonham would maybe sing the song to Jimmy to help write a song. Because he didn't play piano. He didn't play guitar. But he helped write Kashmir, saying, Jimmy, I got an idea for the song. It goes like this. Dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun-dun. So he said, hey, when your drummer comes to you with something like that, listen to him. Just an amazing, fun night, man. I'm sorry Jackson wasn't there. But I got a feeling that Jason's going to keep doing this. He's going to do this for a while. He knows where his bread is buttered. He's got a hell of a band to do it with. And it's fun. And if it's true that he really does feel closer to him when he plays this music, then why stop? Why give that up? You've earned the right. You're doing a hell of a good job at it. Your stories are fun. You have your own family to talk about now. So I hope he keeps going. And if they come back to my town, I won't miss them ever again. And we want to know, folks, did we get something right? Did we get something wrong? Did we miss the point? Did we leave out your favorite part? You email us and let us know. It's uglyamericanwerewolf@gmail.com. Let us know the bands, the albums, the concerts, the tours, the books, the DVDs, the rock properties you want to hear us talk about here on the show. And we need to make sure you download and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Those downloads are the lifeblood of growing our show. And if you really want to help us out, hey, go give us a 5-star review. Doesn't really matter where. Anywhere you get your podcast, just know that it means the world to us. It helps us find more rock and rollers like you. And if you send it our way, we might just read it on an episode. Thanks as always to Pantheon Podcast for making us part of the family. And thanks to our sponsor, rarevinyl.com, where if you use the code UGLY, you can save 10% off one entire order. And yes, they have a lot of amazing Led Zeppelin treasures and all sorts of things that you might like to pick up for the holiday season. That's it for this week. More live shows to review, more classic albums to review, more fun guests to come on before the end of the year, so you're going to have to stay tuned. And to all you rockers all around the world, be cool and keep doing what you do to keep rock alive.